All right, everyone, I'm back here at it again. This is Luke here talking about Splinterlands because apparently in my last video, unintentionally, is pretty much starting a war. I mean, it's just... I honestly made this video just wanting to share my opinions. Mostly thought I'd just reach to my own community. It's getting spread around. I wasn't my intention to make this like a clickbaity video or anything like that. But I think apparently it just struck a nerve within the community, whether you agreed or disagreed. So apparently in some sense, it's at least an important discussion. So I don't really necessarily disagree or regret putting that video out, but it was not really intended to see what was happening with it. So perhaps maybe I should have been more careful on how I framed it or did some editing or organizing my thoughts a little bit better. But with all my content with Balthazar, I don't have the time to edit things as well as I used to. So I apologize if I didn't make things in a clear way. So I want to clarify some things today because I've read through all the comments so far, and thank you guys for the comments. At least unless anyone's come in like the last 10 minutes or so. But I love your discussion, whether you agree with me or not. Thank you for putting in your 2 cents, at least if you're nice about it. I've seen anything from Luke, we completely agree with you, good job, to Luke, you're utterly clueless. Like, what are you thinking? So it's all over the map. It's all over the map. But I realize most people aren't going to sit down for a 30-minute video, listen to the whole thing. A lot of things are going to be taken wrong or out of context, and I wasn't very organized. So I'm trying to keep this one just to a short clarifying, maybe 10-minute video if I can. So a couple things I want to clarify because people have been asking me questions. No, I'm pretty sure I said this in the video, but I'm not selling my assets. I'm still playing the game. You can see my battle history right now. This is from today, 49 minutes ago. Yes, I'm renting out my deck, but I'm renting out my deck so that I can use that DEC to rent just a single two deck strategy to try to push into Diamond, because my deck is a weird half-built gold deck right now, and I don't feel like it's completely worth playing in that low gold or playing in silver where I probably would do well. So that's why I'm trying to push and rent out with my cards. So I still like playing Splinterlands. I'm still here. The video was meant more of just a critique of what I'm seeing and perceiving, and perhaps I should have spent less time talking about the problems and my frustrations in the rant and more time on the feedback, which would maybe have been more helpful as a critique video. So clarify those things. Still in Splinterlands, still love it, and I really hope the things I'm saying is just to help push the game forward with feedback and a perspective that's different, rather than me coming off as trying to tear the team or game apart. Okay, I still like the game, I still respect the team. Maybe we just disagree. So those are the first 2 things. Third, it's not about the rewards. Gosh dang it. People, whether you disagreed or agreed, a lot of it was about, yeah, Luke, we agree with you. The reward changes are terrible. How are they not rewarding bronze and silver players more? Okay. Or maybe you disagree with that point. That actually wasn't my point at all. What I actually understand in the play to earn economy, you need to reward players proportionate to their investment. Okay. If you have to spend $1 million in champion and you only earn $1 a day, there's no incentive to do that. That doesn't make sense. Whereas if you play and spend $1 $100 in silver and you're making $1 a day, okay, you're going to play a bunch of silver accounts. So yes, there needs to be a structure that rewards player proportionally. I don't know if we're there yet. I haven't seen the data, but I actually do trust the team to eventually get it to a place where it's pretty well fairly balanced, at least close enough. And so my point isn't to rant about the team and say, hey, fix the rewards, give more rewards to bronze, silver players, give Krills more money. That's not what I'm saying. My point is, how can you reward changes, structures, change things, but at the same time, at least do it in a way of showing appreciation to bronze and silver players, okay? Not reward them more financially. I'm sure, again, if you ask anyone on the team, do you appreciate your bronze and silver players? They'd be like, yeah, we love them. We love our community. I'm not saying the team actually believes that they don't care about the bronze and silver players. What I'm saying is this is what I've felt a little bit, even though thanks to generous rewards from the community, I'm in gold. And I feel like a lot of people in the community, in my Discord community that's still there and hasn't left already, feels that way too. And there's obviously some aspect in the comments of the last video where it resonated with some people. Now, maybe I was over harsh. Maybe I exaggerated. Maybe I was forgetting something. I appreciated Bulldog's comment on it and said, he said, hey, what about the fact that we've done things for newer players for like the modern format, new rewards for bronze and silver players, so you're not pulling out one credit at a time. The modern format makes it easier for players to get into the game without having to buy all of the old, beta alpha cards that are insanely priced. Fair point. I missed that. I didn't mention that. Those things do point to, yes, helping the bronze and silver players in some way. Now, again, it's not necessarily to me about the rewards. I think people in the silver and bronze are pissed about the rewards, of course, right? But I think for me, it's more of like, how can we just show appreciation to the player base rather than just saying, hey, if you're in bronze and silver, push into gold and champion and diamond. But rather say, hey, we realize not everyone has the funds to get to that high of a level, but we still appreciate you. So, how about changing the bronze mana and rule sets and changing it up and making it a little more fun? People have been complaining about that forever, right? How about some gameplay tutorials on the site to help people figure out the game and get better at the game on the site, so it's easier to access and to know how to get into the game and play the game? As I said in the last video, how about just like a cool appreciation promo card or NFT? Like, hey, you've been playing for a year. It doesn't matter if you're at bronze or if you're at champion. Here's just like, hey, we want to show appreciation to the community. Here's a cool NFT if you've played daily for the last year. Something like that, right? Instead of, hey, here's another promo card. You need at least $500 or $2,000, right? Bronze and silver players, we don't get to experience those cool things because from a gamer perspective, I spend my gaming budget of $50 to $100 a month. And unless I'm saving up for 5 months or more, I'm not touching these promo cards, okay? So it's not about rewarding more the bronze and silver players. I know there's complaints about that. That's actually not my point at all. My point is, can we just say, hey, we need to make these economy changes. We need to reward the higher players proportionally and better. And maybe there still needs to be tweaks, but we still appreciate you guys. Here's an extra tournament that's sponsored by EMP for novice players only. Here's a little cool, fun promo card. I think just little things like that, just to say, not only in your words, but in your actions, we care about the bronze and silver players. And maybe to Bulldog's point, the team has been trying to do that through things like, the no more credits in chess, modern format. But I think there's just not enough, I guess is more so my point. Maybe I'm not giving enough credit to the team in that first video, but I feel like there's more small things you can do to appreciate those lower tier players. Now, lastly, my point about the proposal wasn't really about the proposal at all, and maybe that's on me for starting there and titling it that. I honestly don't care if the proposal passes or fails, really. That really wasn't my point, but that's just kind of what sparked my brain to say all these things I've been feeling. This is kind of the tip of the iceberg, the thing that's pushing over the domino for me, where I feel like this confirms it in a way. So maybe it wasn't the best way to frame it, and I apologize. But why it sparked me to create the video in the first place is because not just the proposal, but what I've been seeing a year long being in Splinterlands is that DeFi, economy, decentralization, as I said in that last video, is king and way greater than gameplay. Anything that has to do with gameplay changes or fixes. Again, to the credit of the team, they've put out new cards. They've done some changes there. It's not completely zero, as I've said. But it seems like the emphasis has heavily been DeFi, economy, decentralization. And people have commented like, hey, like this is a Web3 game. The economy is the most important thing. And so maybe it's just a different philosophy. I get the economy is important. I get what they're trying to do. I've appreciated the changes they've made. Things have gotten better as far as the economy side of things, but not really at all in terms of gameplay. And so all I'm saying is, can we just balance out those scales a little bit? Can we still focus on the DeFi economy and decentralization and equally care about gameplay, both in how we talk about it and what we implement and what we show in our actions. I think the gameplay needs some improvements. I think there's quality of life things that they've missed out on, and maybe they just don't have the developer resources, right? I don't know the insights of the team, but this is just how I'm seeing it from an outside perspective. And part of me may just have that different philosophy where I see it as, yes, more token prices, as I said, will probably bring more Web3 gamers, more of the play-to-earn gamers back, some of those guild scholars back into Splinterlands. But I don't think token prices does anything for the Web2 gamer. And that's what I'm concerned about. What about just the pure gamer who's looking to spend $50 to $100 of their gaming budget a month and are trying to get into a Web3 game? Like, I want to be able to tell my Web2 gaming friends when they ask, they know I stream Splinterlands, they know this is, or was a part of my job, business, whatever you want to call it. And they would ask about it. And what I want to be able to do is when they ask about Splinterlands, to say, dude, you got to check out, they have a new guild feature where now in our guild battles, there's a brawl where each member gets to throw out one card and we have to strategize together. And like, look at this chat that I'm having with my guild to have to strategize to try to win this game. Or look at this esports league that we've created and look at how it's being streamed on Splinterlands TV and how I'm a part of it. Like, those things are hype, right? As just a gamer. If they ask me how Splinterlands is doing and I have to say, well, it's good, my card prices are up, or hey, they found out a way to really bring up the community to buy more things and burn more SPS, and the SPS token price is up, they're gonna look at me with blank stares or just say, cool, I guess, I don't care. Like, they won't care. So I don't know. I'm not part of the team, but my point is, moving forward, I want to see Splinterlands grow. I care about Splinterlands. I've been here for a year. The community has been awesome. I respect the team, even if I disagree in some points. I actually like playing this game. It's an interesting strategy TCG. And so I want to succeed by seeing actual gamers come into the space and less of it being, we have brought in more investors. And to their point, the team probably believes if we bring in more investors, more gamers will come in. But I don't agree with that philosophy. I think until gameplay is to a point where a Web2 gamer will come in and be interested in Splinterlands, whether they care or not about token prices, that is where we have found success. Not that the economy isn't important at all, but can we get a balance? Can we get a balance? So, I said I'd keep it short, so I'm not going to say everything else I was going to say. That's my thoughts. Hopefully that clarifies a little bit. I still like Splinterlands. I want to see us succeed. So keep the discussion going. Whether you agree or disagree with me, just keep the discussion going, because I think the discussion between the balance of DeFi and gameplay is an important discussion for not only Splinterlands, but pretty much every Web3 game moving forward, as the space tries to grow and figure out what the heck is NFT gaming, what the heck is play to earn. So drop more comments below. I'll read them. Peace out. Hopefully that helps. Later.